Welcome to this session, and we are with Samir Tiwari, the founder of an agency non-linear, and he would be speaking on the topic how does digital marketing give way to a successful startup. So Samir has around 17 years of experience and has worked around across 3 continents, and all of this is in different capacities. He's been a a business manager for various reputed companies, and currently he's a passionate digital marketer who started his own venture around 1.5 years back, kind of maybe more than that. And that's briefly about Samir. And to quickly let you know, we'll have a question answer session at the end of the webinar, so please wait till the end, and I'll call upon you to share your questions, and we'll be trying to answer each and every question of yours. So that's it from my side, and I just wanted to request you to share the tweet that I am going to present to you on the chat window, and if you can put it in on your link on your Twitter profile, so that we get a bit more audience, we get some more people who can learn from the experience of Samir. So Samir, that's it from my side. You can start with your presentation.
Well, Mir, thank you so much, and I appreciate the fact that Digital Vidya, whom Nonlinear has been a partner with in so many months now. Appreciate the fact that we all huddle up today, and welcome everyone. It's a lot of thanks for taking time to come and join in this session. I think as colleagues in the industry, there is ample amount of learning that we can have, and believe me, this is not learning which is going to happen just from me to you. It's cross learning, and what I've experienced in working with Digital Vidya and doing so many webinars, especially about freelancing, about media planning, and so many stuff, is that the more interactive we get, the better we learn, right? So what I'm going to do today is, and thanks Mir for introducing me. I think you've already done justice to it, but just to add on a little bit, guys, I've been around in the industry for a little more than 17 years now. Worked on the client side, worked on the publishing side, have had a chance to also work on site in different continents and countries, especially US, and obviously a large part of Europe also. Not sure if you're able to see the screen. That's my profile, and just so that you feel you're talking to a human being here and not to a robot, I'm going to say a hi on webcam, and then I will go back to the slides. Guys, as we talk, it is also important that today we understand, what is the need for us to have this particular topic being discussed. It's a changing world. Things have actually transcended from how the last generation used to work and talk about business. There are now, you don't have those. It's not a mandate to have a 500, 600 people company. People have gone, they have ventured. They have faith in doing startups of small sizes, delivering immense success and value to the consumers. Because specifically, if I talk about companies like Skype, or even Uber, or WhatsApp, for a matter of fact, which is a Facebook company, and thousands of them. Believe me, they started off with a team just maybe less than 5 people. And I'm sure you're all experienced, professionals, and you know it for a fact that all of this, what I'm talking, is actual reality in the real world. So. Now, getting on to our shoes and starting to run towards creating a successful startup, people, I welcome you on board to this journey that we're going to take in the next almost 50 minutes. And in those 50 minutes, we'll have, you'll hear from me. I'll have your questions. We're going to do an exercise. And let's just try and make it very productive, because I know each second that you're investing in this session, you've taken that time cautiously, and you want to be learning a lot. So I can see that you guys are able to see the presentation at any moment. If you have a problem, Meet is there to help us, and off we go. All right. Guys, I thought of first defining, just before we go on to learn anything. I think it's it's imperative that we define ourselves. Who are we? That's why that question up there. Now, if this is a forum in which I have people coming in and expecting to understand the dynamics of creating a startup, the challenges, and why digital marketing is most important in terms of playing a game-changing role, or which I call a torchbearer's role in this whole format. I think the first question that we must ask is, who are we, right? So this is what we are, and I'm sure as you read through this, you'll understand the fact that this is what we ask all the time to ourselves and to our colleagues who are responsible to make a startup successful. Will the travelers read my travel blog? Guys, I travel a lot. If you ask me personally, I travel a lot. And I make sure that I put that on different experience websites like TripAdvisor, like Booking.com, like Trivago, and so on and so forth. Hey, that's not my profession, okay? And I'm not in the business of travel, but maybe I start doing that one day. The first question I'm going to ask is, will the travelers even read my travel blog? The answer is simple. TripAdvisor, the login through Facebook that I take into TripAdvisor, tells me that I'm among the top 1,500 travel bloggers based out of India. And almost every week, there are hundreds and thousands of people who are reading not just my blog, but experiences of many other travel bloggers. All right. And they give you a summary of who's been reading you and how many times. Somebody here might be planning to start a cake shop, getting nightmares. My goodness, is somebody even going to land on the app or my website and even check out the cakes that I've so wonderfully done? Fear, right? Would somebody care to visit my food joints website? Don't we think about that? There was a guy called XYZ, okay, and we did his website from Nonlinear. He kept on asking me just one question: Sam, you've done a fantastic website. You guys have done a fantastic website. But is somebody going to come and visit my website? Is he going to come and search for me? Do I have to do a paid marketing digital campaign, or do you expect me to go onto the social media on my Facebook page or create a Facebook page for my my restaurant and start talking about it? Even the smallest sized business where somebody is coaching German language, and guys, hey, I'm giving you live examples of people. I can't name them, but I'm telling you about real people, and one of them is definitely you. Okay, so we're defining the challenges that we have. Now somebody is training German sitting back home, and she doesn't know if people are going to come and see that there is somebody like ABC who exists, works out of home, teaches German, and there is a possibility to pay by PayPal, and she's accessible worldwide. She's a fantastic German coach. Again, apprehension, fear, uncertainty is what we're living in. There's somebody who's doing a fashion store, has an ethnic fashion store, which is not getting enough footfall. Very worried at this time. How shall I increase that footfall? This lady, she just goes on modeling, clicking pictures, buying but not able to get the kind of footfall or the kind of business that she might expect, right? Now, there's another set of people who are quite clear that, yeah, I've got a pool of prospect clients who either download my app or come onto my website, but hey, if I market to them, am I prudent? Am I wise in spending that small little, marketing budget that I have kept aside? See, we are all entrepreneurs, aren't we? Somebody doing has a cake shop. Somebody has a fashion store. Somebody is doing an e-commerce, selling T-shirts. Somebody is selling, let's say, pen drives, which are personalized and custom-made pen drives with the photos of the people and their children and the places they've been. I know such people, hard drives, they kind of personalize it. But all of us, you, him, her, and me, are worried about, are we getting enough eyeballs? And that's who we are. I hope you have an understanding of, who we are as either prospect owners of startups or, let's say, for guys who've already started it. Yeah. Now let me just quickly move on to the next slide and talk to you about ponder before you take the plunge. Now, what do you do when you go out to swim in the sea? I do it very often. Okay, go check out my Facebook page. We are a beach family. What do you do before you take a plunge into your business? You evaluate, right? You do a lot of research, a lot of analysis, a lot of number crunching just before you do that. I'll give you 30 seconds to read from the left until the right. Please do that. I think, let me help you with this. The first question you should be looking at when you are planning to, market your startup, and obviously we are talking about how digital marketing is going to help you market your company or yourself right. These are the things you ponder or you think or you analyze before you go ahead and define your digital marketing campaign. Who's my target audience? What content do they consume? All right. Now that's the biggest question asked. I'll give you an example for that. Somebody who's a sports freak and loves swimming. I mean, I'm just posing different examples here. And that's me, let's say. And a company like Speedo, which manufactures swimwear, headgear, flaps, so on and so forth. I mean, they can take you into the deepest oceans. Am I the right target audience for them? Yes, because I not only swim in a swimming pool or a river, I dive into the ocean, I dive into the sea. That's what I do. But is my wife, who better hangs around the swimming pool, she wants to have just sit in and sit there and just enjoy herself outside, I don't think she's the right target audience. So what I am trying to imply by telling you is, do not waste your money showing yourself or your ad or your presence to somebody who's not your target audience. It's very difficult to it's easy to identify, it's tough to find your right target audience, but digital marketing can definitely lead you there. Okay, now the second question is, where will I find them? Print, television, out of home, by the way, for guys who are new into marketing, it's these are the hoardings and the big 20 feet by 40 feet banners that you see when you go on the road. Okay, or the digital space. Let me tell you something, guys. Print, TV have gotten very expensive, and they always were expensive. Okay, you talk about radio, nothing less. What digital marketing is going to give you is the edge of tangibility, the edge of being able to precisely measure what you invested and what was the return on investment, which we fancily call ROI. All right, but I'm going to define the tangibility in slides later to come. Let me first define what you must ponder before you plunge, guys. Please listen to this carefully. It is imperative that you analyze clearly that is there a dire need for your prospect client or customer for your product? Are you selling something like a medicine for a headache? Let's say I have a headache, I gotta have a medicine, okay? I can't do without it. Either you have a product which has such either healing, or let's say, I don't know, it could be anything, or it creates such fancy for your buyer that he cannot refuse. Or you have a solution which is something like there is an app called LocoNav. I just got to know. My daughter goes to school, her bus is coming closer to my place. When is she going to get dropped, right? So it gives me by the second breakup of where exactly is the bus. Security, you see. So is there a dire need of your product, or is it just something which everybody is selling? Okay. Another question. Can they afford it? Is your clientele, do they have the money to afford what you're selling? Now let's say, for example, I go outside a school in Saket, which is a government school, and I try and sell them Nike shoes right outside the door. You think I'm going to end up with even one buyer? Forget it. Those little kids who pay an annual tuition fee of 6,000 rupees or less, you think they're going to afford that 10,000 Nike shoes that I'm going to sell to them? Absolutely lost with my marketing. Don't be that. Okay? Let's not be that, guys. Let's get very sensitive with our research, because ultimately what's going to either save and deploy your money in the right channel is your marketing research. And what is going to lead you into something where you have no money for your marketing and could not do anything with what you had is again the same research. You got your research right, you got everything. Okay? So can they afford it? And then comes, how do I grab their attention? And once I have their attention, how do I remarket? Let me give you a classic example. You go book a ticket from Delhi to Goa on Indigo, or let's say Trivago, and then you come out without booking it, okay? Next day, when you log in, I'm sure you've experienced all of this on your mobile, on your laptop, on your desktop. You already have done that. You go read news, smartly pops up an ad of Trivago, says, hey, we saw you at trivago.com. You were trying to book a ticket from Delhi to Goa. Have you made your mind? That's called remarketing. Okay? But that's the second level. How do I grab the attention? That is the biggest question. Do you have something? Do you have a discount to offer which is groundbreaking? Do you have a technology which cannot be said no? Do you have something in beautification or so presentable that there is no eyeball which looks at it is going to refuse? Do you have that? Do I have that? Let's start asking these questions as business owners. Okay? What do I communicate? Will my story be a tagline or a video, or is it going to be just a set of images? Guys, I cannot tell you, and it's foolish to tell you because you have experienced it day in and day out. Video and content is becoming the father of marketing. Earlier, there was a lot of text. It used to be very verbose. You remember our dads reading those long, endorsements and ads on the newspaper. Gone are those days. We are fast moving people. We take the metro, we jump, we create, we run. That's how our life is, right? And our best friend has become that small little 5-inch device, which is your mobile. Now, You give me text to read. Yeah, I love reading. So for the sake of reading, I might read. But if you're going to show me a presentable video, I'm going to get glued to that video. Haven't you experienced it? I know, and I can see all 100 of you nodding your heads on that. Okay. So if you can create something which, and a lot of times, being a marketing company, my website is www.nonlinear.in. You go check out that website. It's a good looking website, but believe me, I'm not at all happy with it because my clients have to read a lot. They say, hey, it's a great website, but inside me and my team, we know for a fact that we could have done a much better job if we just had a corporate video talking about what do we do. And that is definitely a plan this financial year, we're going to create a video for ourselves. Okay. Now, what we have to evaluate, guys, is you got to tell your story in the shortest, most interesting, and the most digestible form. If you are able to do that, you've created content which everybody in your prospect client list is going to love, understand easily, and then maybe come back to see it again. Yes, it opens a big door of opportunity for your business. And please keep making notes, people, because I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions in the end, and which obviously you would. And I can see there are a lot of people who are not from India here. Yeah. So if you have a specific question, it may not, and it need not be just based for a pan-India startup. It could be anywhere, okay? And yeah, so obviously, I mean, that we're going to talk about in our Q&A session. Now, the last thing is, do I have enough to invest in marketing, and which medium is the most cost-effective and tangible? Colleagues and friends, I have, with all due respect to the other medium, what I have learned in whatever little I have learned in these almost 2 decades, there is no replacing digital media, and there is no replacing digital marketing. Okay. So let's just move on and think about, when we plan to do our marketing, do we have enough knowledge? Do we have enough research? Are we going in the right direction? Are spending our money right in marketing? And are we going digital? That is the biggest question answer. Okay. But again, digital has so much to offer. You got to be very, very picky with what to take and what to leave, of course. Okay. So what we learned until now are 2 things. Who are we, and what do we, ponder before we take the plunge of marketing our startup. Now let me show you something here. Why digital marketing? Okay. Why is it that somebody like me, somebody like my colleagues at Digital Vidya, or let's say anyone, is recommending digital marketing as the solution for this era? The reason is simple. You look at that traditional image, what do you see there? Television, make a call to your prospect, TV, print, all that. Well, digital is plain and simple. You got email, you've got social channels like Facebook, Twitter, you've got infographics to show, and then of course, the king of content, YouTube, and many such other viral platforms and where you see videos. Okay. Why? Like I kept saying in the last 2 slides, friends, 100% tangible, high reach, and cost effective. What else do you want? Do you know how many people who picked up that print copy of the newspaper actually read it? You have no way to measure, but just believe what the publisher is telling you. That I sent so many copies of the print newspaper today, and I expect that so many were bought, and is equal to so many of your audience saw your ad. It doesn't happen in the real world. Let me tell you that. Harsh reality. An out-of-home guy is going to tell you, If I put your hoarding there, I know 100,000 people cross from there and they take a right, they take a left. So it's bound to see your ad. Man, while I'm driving, I'm listening to the radio. I might get, lost in my thoughts, or I'm focusing in my driving. A lot of times, there is very high probability I'm going to miss your hoarding. So what is tangible, guys? And what can be measured of really who viewed your ad, clicked on it, or let's say took any action, is how you market yourself through the digital marketing. Okay, your digital identity could be a website or an app. Okay, you might measure your success through the number of unique visitors on your website, or you might say, hey, my app gets 1,000 downloads in a month. So that's how you measure your digital identity. Now, your target audience, now let me talk about the different aspects of what digital marketing is covering. Okay, so your audience is searching on the internet. They're highly sociable, which means they're on social media platforms and interacting and sharing and learning. They have seen you either through an ad, and it really matters if they have liked you after they have seen you. Okay. Then comes the fact that what is your content? Is it something which is adding value to a user who's reading it, or is it just plain text which doesn't add any value, doesn't answer any questions, doesn't do anything? And then comes the last question: do you have enough, research, either through research tools or different mechanisms, that you're able to create an executive summary for yourself to say, yes, I'm doing justice with the money that I'm spending on digital marketing. Okay, so there are different aspects. Let me just repeat it, don't get confused. Your target audience is searching. Organic, when somebody goes on Google, you're in the business of, let's say, you're in the business of e-commerce. You have a small website, and then you also have an app. People are searching for products which are customized, corporate gifting products. That is what you do. Are you appearing in those searches for those keywords? If not, there is a problem. You got to rectify. Is that search an organic search, or you're opting for paid search also? Okay, that's one. Highly sociable, your audience is there, he's searching for corporate gifting, but you don't have a Facebook page, or even if you have one, which is not interactive, doesn't have content, is boring. They just come to your Facebook page, say, hey, this is something which I definitely don't want to see. And then on the contrary, you have a Facebook page which has got, let's say, an Instagram presence, which has fantastic images, real ones, obviously not fake. You talk about your successes, what you've done, the kind of work, what you're giving back to the community, and so on and so forth. I mean, I could tell you 10,000 ideas right away. So that needs to be done. All right. Then, are you remarketing to your audience? It should not happen that you market to your audience once, off they go, and then there is no contact. And then, of course, do you have tools? Do you have social listening tools and research tools? Do you have something like an omniture? That's too advanced. I don't want to get there. But are you measuring your success of your digital marketing efforts? All right. So that's very important. That is why I just went on saying right since the beginning, it is imperative that what you do is being measured clearly. A rupee or a dollar spent versus a rupee or a dollar earned is what is going to give you the edge in calculating your ROI. And believe me, people, nothing else, nobody, there's no technology besides digital, and you will see it, you're seeing it, and you'll continue to see it, that this is the solution you want to look at. All right, now I'm going to move a bit faster because this is exactly where I wanted to spend time with you guys explaining all of this. I want you to take a look here. Check this one out. What happens in 1 internet minute? Read it. You'll be amazed. to see these numbers. 4.3 million videos are viewed in 60 seconds on YouTube. There are 375,000 apps downloaded. Imagine the clutter. Instagram, 174,000 scrolling Instagram at that time. Tinder, my goodness, 1.1 million swipes. WhatsApp, which we use so often, look at it on the bottom left, that green one. 38 million messages being exchanged just in 60 seconds. You talk about money? Read that. You see that cart, online cart? $862,000 being spent online in purchases. Netflix, you have the numbers. And let's come back to the king of all, Google and Facebook. 3.7 million searches and queries on Google in just 60 seconds, which is 1 minute, and almost a million logins that happen in that very minute. So it's a crazy, crazy, crazy world. It's living digital, it's sleeping digital, it is working digital, and it is enjoying and partying digital. So if you miss this bus, I think you better take a train to Mars. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to imply out of this research. Now, I'm going to show you a couple more things. And this is very India specific because I was told most of us, you, my colleagues, and everyone here are going to be from India, although I see a lot of the people from other countries. Well, that's where we are heading. Okay? Imagine if you look at the numbers, and these are real numbers, you know, these are KPMG numbers. India had a base of 70 million mobile broadband subscribers in 2013, okay, and had just 800 million, which is 63% of internet penetration in this country. In just a matter of, and this is including 2013, so I'm saying in just a matter of 8 years, this is where we are heading. We're going to have 85% internet penetration in the country. Let me just simplify this term for you. So if our population today is, 120 crores, 85% of that population is going to have internet access in one way or the other. I'm not saying all the guys living out of, the underprivileged ones who don't even have food are going to have a swanky laptop or a mobile. That's not what I want to imply here by this research. But in one way or the other, the internet is going to touch their lives. So 85% penetration. And if you're talking about the mobile, and this is what I want you to very carefully note down, that we are expecting around 600 million mobile broadband subscribers in the country by next year, and 2020 is just next year. Hey, all right, so it's crazy amount of digitization, and you can already see what the government is doing as far as creating a digital India is concerned. I'm going to share with you, and these are all facts, right? So, and then we're going to have an exercise, and then I open the session for questions. So I'm showing you numbers, okay? And this is the industry I belong to. So digital advertising in India, I mean, I started, if you look at 2005, I started my journey in 2002, but I got acclimatized with the digital marketing thing around the same time, around 2005, 2006, when I was in the US. This is where it came up to. And when I look back those days, and this is a Media Nama authentic survey that they've done, guys, imagine the kind of growth, the kind of money that is being invested in digital advertising in India has risen by an average compounded annual growth rate of 42% year on year. All right, it's been a crazy race. And if you see this here, it is an estimate of what 2017 is. It is 9,490 crore rupees spent on digital advertising. So which includes everything, okay? Facebook, Google, YouTube, anything and everything where advertising was involved. And let me give you an authentic number for 2018. An approximate is above 12,500 crore rupees in 2018, and this is going to blast at least up to, I mean, these are the estimates I've been reading on the internet, but I didn't place it here on this presentation because those are estimated numbers. We are expecting print to drastically come down. Television, given its cost, is going to come down. Radio is going to grow, and the fastest growing medium is going to be digital advertising. And the markets in around 2020 should see nothing less than close to 20,000 crores being spent on digital advertising alone. Right now, digital advertising in the year 2017 comprised of 12% of the overall advertising spent in this country, 12% of 56,000, okay, that was 2017. It has grown each year, and we are expecting by the time it's 2020, which is next year, digital advertising would not be less than anything in between 20 to 25% of the money being spent on advertising. So it's on a crazy rise, guys, and that's why I use that tag, need we say much. I don't think there is any reason to explain why digital is the way, okay? For startups, for mature organizations, for growing companies, and for established companies who are now looking at this. Check out this one. I hope each one of you is able to see the screen. Yep, see that on the audience view. Yeah. So this is what's happening, guys. You want to ask, and this is an Adobe and an Economist, survey of 2018, very fresh, and it says the blue one is the top performing companies and the gray ones are the mainstream. The top performing companies are saying we will invest significantly in digital skills and education of their own employees, 45% of them. The mainstreams, who just want to do a mediocre job, they're saying, well, we will invest somewhat in digital and education, maybe, yeah, So you be there, look at what the top performing companies are doing. And for people who say that we'll be making little or no investment in digital skills and education, check this one out. The top performing companies are the least who are saying that, all right? So who do you want to become? Keep that question in your mind. Where are the leaders investing? Where will you be investing? Where will I be investing? Where will all of our colleagues here who are planning to market their startups be investing, right? I quickly want to flip through these slides and then I give you a quick test. Read what's going on. Top expectations, optimizing customer experience, multi-channel marketing, creating content. Content is going to be the king, that's for sure. You guys will have the slide with you. Don't worry, you don't have to read everything right now, but these things are going to be the future. Internet of Things, connected devices, wearables, audience tracking, crazy amount of things are going to happen here, okay? Let me flip to the next slide and talk about what are the top digital priorities companies are keeping in their minds. Social media engagement, which is very important. You've seen how much time each individual is spending on the social media. Content marketing, there's immense emphasis on content and creating it better. Targeting and personalization, of course, everyone wants to see what they are expecting as an individual, as a company, as a prospect. And the rest, you can check it out once you have the presentation with you. What are our inferences? What have we learned in this entire journey of 30 odd minutes, 35 minutes is this. So there is no replacing digital marketing. We have to create a very strong digital identity to succeed in in marketing our business and reaching our goals, and even understanding our success of the business. All right, now what is imperative is your TG should crave for your product. TG should not say that it's something which I don't need. They should be craving for your product. And I'm so sorry, this just flipped out. Social media presence is important. Your TG should refer to others. Content is the king. And don't be scared in spending on the well-researched marketing solutions. With that, I'm going to end this. We will shortly open for questions. Mir, I would request you to kindly have the audience just spend maybe less than 10 minutes in answering these questions. Mir, would you want to share this with the audience?
For the exciting, amazing presentation that you made. And
thank you.
We're going to launch a few polls for the next 5 minutes or so, and we go to the question and answer session, wherein we'll have all your questions answered. At least try to have most of your questions answered. So I'm launching the first poll, and subsequently we'll go through the other questions that Samir has shared with us. So here's the first poll for you. So meanwhile, while you are at it and you're giving me your answers, I'll be noting down the questions that you have, and you can type all your questions in the questions panel so that I can ask them to Samir. So can you quickly, all of you, I see 64% of you have voted, and I request the other remaining 36% to vote as well, so that we have an understanding of the audience before we go on to the questions panel. All right. So 70% of you have voted, 71%, and I'll close the poll in next 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm closing this poll, and Samir has a few questions for you. And
absolutely, yeah.
Shall I go for all of them?
Yeah, just as many as we can take. I'm happy to answer.
10 to 20 seconds for each of them.
Absolutely.
First question.
Hang on. Are you going to read that for me, or?
I think I should read it for them. What is your most critical marketing challenge? Visibility and reach, social media, search, paid or organic, website and content challenges?
I would think, well, that's a very, very good question asked. I would say you can't, it mostly depends on the nature of business. If you had to ask me this question, I would say as an agency, making a social presence for me has been challenging, because if you notice, Lineaar doesn't have a Facebook and a Twitter handle yet. But at the same time, if you talk about the challenges that my clients at different categories of business have been facing, is definitely presence, reach, and remarketing has been one of the biggest challenges for them. And on the other hand, online reputation management is seeming to be a challenge. I'll tell you why that is. Because we all love to have those Facebook and Twitter handles, but we don't know the art of tackling something which comes negatively to us. So that's mostly, I would say.
So Rahul has a question for us. He says, let's say I am selling a product, which is a common one, and a lot of other retailers are selling that too. So how can I adopt a strategy that makes a fancy around it, and it's like buying a medicine that you just have to do it. You can't do without it.
Fantastic. All right, Rahul. So there are different ways to go about it, okay? And in particular, I would say that you should look at it primarily from three angles, okay? I'm selling a shoe, okay? Or I'm selling, let's say, a sneaker, and my brand, and there are hundreds and thousands of brands who are selling a sneaker. How do you sell that shoe properly? Who do you advertise it to? So the first question which comes is you got to understand what your competition is doing in terms of A, cost, B, offering, C, their target audience. Is your competition doing something in terms of giving offers? See, there is a limitation of how many offers you can give because you also have to profit out of this business, right? Try and have your communication or your content, let's say, build your content in a way, try and create a video that appeals to your audience, and the audience which, let's say, if you're targeting, I'm just giving you a quick example, if you're targeting college goers who are from the age of 18 to 22, show them a video in which you see them rapping, jazzing, dancing around the college, and they're wearing your brand, and in the end have a sweet message to it. That's how you do it for that audience. For an audience more evolved, you can talk about serious running, sporting events, marathons, and so on. So you got to stand apart. You can't do it much with pricing because there's a limit to which you can discount. You cannot do it with the design of things because everybody is doing a fantastic job. What you can really do is have a great content in place and make sure that it reaches to the right audience at the right time. Okay?
Right. Asimuddin has a question. What is the first marketing platform that one must choose? Is it Facebook or maybe other social media, or is it Google or search?
Well, that's again, something very logical to be approaching at. See, there is no set rule of a particular, marketing channel being given a preference, but it mostly depends on the nature of business you are in. I'll give you a classic example. Okay, somebody who has an e-commerce website, and like I said, is selling corporate gifting items on that website. The approach for such a person should be, gaining good control on organic as well as paid search, because your audience, this guy's audience, this company's audience, is normally coming to his website. A majority, when he looks at his Google Analytics, he will see that the traffic that he's coming, which is coming to his website, is mostly through organic search. So Google is the answer for him. But at the same time, the same guy should also prioritize the referral traffic when he's looking at his Google Analytics again, which says he should have a Facebook page and talk about the kind of innovation the company is doing, like something which is extremely personalized, what they've made, and something which they have been able to thrill their customers. You see, so there is no set rule to answer your question, but then it has to be something where your target audience is. If they are on search, you go to search. If they are on social, you go there. If they are on a particular website, you keep some money aside for buying media. That is also another angle. All right. Well, thanks.
Dheeraj is saying, for a fresher, is it beneficial to join an agency, or does he join a company and or a brand? I suppose.
Well, yeah. Now that is something I would love to answer, because all of us, we started our career at some time or the other, and we didn't know. We were confused of what we're doing. See, you asked me of my experience. I had maximum learning in terms of, so I've been on, like I said, I have been on the agency side, on the publishing, and I've worked, I've represented single-handedly Forbes and Reuters and the New York Times of the world here in this country. But at the same time, my maximum learning has been, and in a very short while, has been in the agencies. And especially when I was working for startup agencies and not established agencies, startup affiliate companies, startup agencies, they teach you a lot. You don't have a profile in these companies. You can't just choose to do one thing. You're bound to do hundreds and thousands of things in a day, which could be you at one moment you might be writing content, the other moment you might just go and meet a client, the third day you just end up sitting back and planning a Google AdWord campaign for the same client, and on the fourth day you suddenly helping your creative guy with ideas of what to say in a content. So an agency is going to keep you under the neck of the client where you can actually feel him breathe. You understand what I'm trying to say? You're going to be right under the neck of the client when you work for an agency. Whereas for other things like working for a company or representing a publication house, I don't see it otherwise. But that's been my experience. I mean, an agency and a startup is going to build you up like anything. Okay.
Yeah. And Ratna Raj has a question: how to research and how to target your audience? How to research for target audience to find out your target audience?
All right, Ratnaraj. So there are multiple ways of doing that. So there is a more brick and mortar way, which normally I follow and my team follows, and then there are tools which call for investment, which we do for our clients. Okay. So when you research for your target audience, you got to bear one thing in mind very clearly: gender, geolocation, age category, and the kind of income these guys the DJ is going to have. So if you have that in your mind set very very clearly, if you are clear that I am approaching a guy who's just passing out of college and about to go join a company, he definitely at some time or the other he needs some kind of a brushing up of his soft skills and his presentation skills, because this guy is going to look out for jobs now. So what do? If you are a training company, you go and knock his door, not literally knock his door, you actually show him yourself as a training institute which brushes up. Now I have a company called digisages.com. Okay, it's a company which helps both corporate leaders as well as new students to groom up to become entrepreneurs, or to groom up and find the job they want. So if you are able to understand the requirement of your target audience versus the services that you're giving, if that done well, off you go. So do that research. Keep in mind gender, age, geolocation, spending capacity, and maybe a couple of factors here and there, and you're sorted.
Neil has a question: how do you think a test preparation startup should be spending on ads, or should be spending on paid ad campaigns? So what is, I think he's asking about the kind of budget to allocate in percentage format, maybe.
Absolutely. So what startup is this again, Mir? What do they do?
How much should a test preparation startup invest in its paid campaigns? What percentage of the budget?
Test preparation. Test preparation. Okay. So see, if you're talking about a pie of if you've got $100 to spend, I would say that you being visible is more important. So now visibility comes through different angles. Now you might purchase media on different education websites, and you might run your money fall short, or you might spread yourself too thin. If I had to do your marketing, what I would do is I would take around good 40% of that budget into GDN, which is Google Display Network. Make you visible there for the guys who are searching for the right test preparation companies. I'm going to allocate another 30% of your budget into social media platforms, especially Facebook, where your target audience is searching and their friends are recommending, hey, you know what, I found this company, does a fantastic job with preparing you for tests. Go visit their Facebook page, or let's say LinkedIn page. So 40 for display network, 30% for your Facebook, and the rest definitely for improvising on your content, because now that you don't have to spend, you have to spend in paying the people who will do your content. And especially if you can have a corporate video, nothing beats it, but the right one.
All right. Manisha is asking, does Facebook marketing work for B2B clients as well?
Absolutely, it does. But for a B2B scenario, Manisha, it is imperative that you also have a very strong LinkedIn presence. I'll give you a classic example. Okay, imagine you are in the business of events, for example. Okay, and you want to target companies, 100 plus people companies who do one event a quarter, two events a quarter, let's say one a year, something like that. Now, you might have a fantastic Facebook presence, and so you recommend people that they go and check out your Facebook, but a large percentage of your target audience, now who's going to take that decision of engaging you as an events company? The HR of the company is going to do that, not the admin, okay? Now, if you are not connected to the HR of the company somewhere or the other on LinkedIn, and they don't see you as a professional company who's been having clients that they've served in the past, they wouldn't gather enough confidence on your offering. So I think LinkedIn is more powerful as far as targeting B2B businesses as compared to Facebook. But a paradigm shift has happened. A lot of the B2B prospects of yours, they have now come down to Facebook, and they're doing their research to see who's winning the war on Facebook. So a 60-40 mix of Facebook, LinkedIn versus Facebook is what I would recommend.
Great. And I'll take one last question from Farzan.
Sure.
An interesting one. What are the biggest challenges that you faced in the initial days while you were setting up your agency, Non-Linear?
Thank you so much, Fazan. That gives me a chance to actually answer a lot of questions which the other people might just get up and ask. I'll tell you my journey. When I finished my education, right since that day I was clear that one day I'm going to create a business of my own. That was very clear. I was not sure what business, but I knew it will be a business. Entire through the time, so this is not a one-day journey, Farzan. It is a journey that begins the moment you start to work. Okay, so all this while I was working for companies as an employee, I would always find time as a religion to come out and do some kind of a freelancing, some kind of a consulting, some kind of thing which was different from my existing work profile. And in the process of doing that, I mean, fine, you get an extra bit of money in doing it. But what you really gather is the kind of experience that you will need when you're going to put in your own money and start your own business. And to answer your questions about what challenges did I face while forming Non-Linear, which is my primary company, DigiSages, which is my training company, and there's another event company that we run, which is called Moni's Kitchen, which is primarily headed by my wife, Manisha. Uncertainty of success is the biggest challenge you're going to have, Farzan and rest of our colleagues. How you can counter them is with great research. I mean, if you have been doing a desk job or just the same job in the last so many years, and just before you start your venture, you're going to have a very tough time. Okay, and let me be direct with you. Now, if you've been doing different things, you've been wearing different hats, you've been consulting, it's going to be easier for you. The other thing which is going to be one of the biggest challenges for you is evaluating and forecasting what you will basically make in terms of revenues versus what is going to be your expense. Salaries, expense for running the company, and do you have enough clients to support all of that? And ultimately, are you making a profitable organization should be a question. So my advice to you, please follow Azim Premji. He's called so my first company was Wipro, where I've worked as an exec, and what I did learn from this gentleman, and I've continued to learn. I mean, there are so many examples to follow, but please be the Mr. Scrooge of your company, because you've got to spend each money very carefully. You end up a big campaign, you end up 1 year you might make like great revenues. There's absolutely no assurance, Farzan and my other colleagues and friends, that you're going to make the same kind of revenue. So please be careful in the kind of money you spend. That is definitely going to be a challenge. And new business development has to be a continuous process. You cannot stop with your new business development. You can't say, I have enough clients, I'm going to stop meeting new clients. Okay. So I hope I've been able to answer your question, but please be selling for new business. Please be very careful of your money and the technology, the money you spend on technology and marketing and on, other activities. And last but not the least, if you have experience of working in different environments, you have worn different hats, there is nothing stopping you from being successful. So get into the habit of being in the uncomfortable zone.
Thank you, Samir, for your time, and I would like to thank the audience as well for spending time with us, giving us a chance to share our thoughts, share our vision with them, and that's it for the day. And just to inform you, we're going to have a webinar, an exciting webinar with HubSpot on 19th of April, and that would be around building a successful content marketing strategy without spending a rupee. And the regional marketing leader of HubSpot would be with us. So I encourage you to register for that webinar as well. And that's it from my side, and that is it from today's session with Digital Vidya. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.